All right, how's that look? We're looking at... I need to do something about the light back here, but I kind of like the light when it's, you know, like, yeah, it looks nice when I'm not sitting in front of it, but, you know, it'll work for this. All right, welcome back. This is another episode of Unscripted with E.H. Howard. Oh, gotta fix the stash. There we go. All right. Anything can happen. I mean, I'm not gonna have any special guests walk in, or it's not gonna be like, oh, look, there's Mel Torme. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, but I am kind of well known for kind of saying things that I'm like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that. And rambling. So that's a great combination for video, right? All right, so, like I said, this is Unscripted. I don't have a script. I just kind of have an idea of what I want to talk about, where I want to go with it, and we shall see what happens. All right, so buckle up, buckaroo. We're going for it. All right, so the other day I was, in the mornings when I wake up, I kind of have this sort of like 15 or 20 minutes as I'm kind of coming out of sleep and coming into consciousness before the cat screams for food that seems to have some sort of clarity of things. It seems like my defenses are down. I'm ready to absorb whatever my mind wants to tell me, which my mind is constantly telling me all kinds of things. I call it my 4 a.m. epiphany, but it was really more like 5 a.m. And I was sitting there and I was thinking about, I was kind of spinning my wheels. Last week I was kind of spinning my wheels. I wasn't getting a lot done. I just kind of felt what's wrong. And it seems to be a thing that happens. It's very cyclical in my life. I don't know if it's cyclical in your life, but I have these weeks of really, I work my ass off. I'm like, can't get enough done. I love what I'm getting done. It's great work. It's quality work. It's really exciting. I get very boom, boom, boom. That usually lasts for about 3 to 4 weeks. And then the 4th week, I somehow suddenly crash and thoughts aren't coming as quickly. Ideas aren't as interesting to me. I can't seem to focus and get through getting the work done for the day. And in this particular case, I was thinking about how to sort of really take... I felt that there was something in my business that I was avoiding. Okay, let's just, I mean, I can be honest here, we're compadres, we're friends, right? I can be honest with you. And it wasn't the first time that I felt that, because I had a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago say to me, you're dancing around things. You're not really... There's something that you want to say, but which is for me weird. Something you want to say when you do, but you're afraid of it. You're not dealing with it. You're kind of dancing around the subject and convincing yourself that you've done this, that this is a success. And they weren't wrong. I can't admit that they were wrong. And that kind of stuff stayed with me, along with some of the other things. I was kind of some of the mindfulness. I'm not very demure, no, but I am very mindful. I'm very self-aware too. It took a lot to get there, but I'm there. And so I was sitting in bed, and it's 5 in the morning. It's dark out. The cat's kind of annoying me. She wants to be fed, and it's 5 a.m. But all that aside, it dawned on me that I really was afraid of moving the business in a way that I had always wanted to move the business, that I was afraid of taking that step and feeling like, what if I fail? I want to expand the business this way, but if it fails, what then? Because for me, it's always about, is there a plan B? What happens if? And I can get a little overwhelmed with that because, as I'm just going to say it as, and there goes the trash truck, so this should be fun for a minute. As a, I don't want to say senior, I'm not a senior yet, I'm middle-aged, all right? Like nowadays, I'm middle-aged. As a middle-aged business owner, if this doesn't work, what options do we have? I'm too old to pop back into the design field. I'm too old to get into the animation industry again. I could pop back into teaching, but have you seen how teaching is lately? Good Lord, The people that are doing it, if you have stayed in teaching, bless you. You know, we owe you our thanks, because no, yeah, I don't need that crazy in my life. So there really isn't a plan B for us, okay? And as each day goes further and further, we struggle more and more, okay? I've seen some great jobs out there where I don't speak the language that they need. That's a requirement. Everything else I'd be perfect for, but I don't speak Korean. So, okay, that's where I'm going, all right? There's a lot of rails. So this has to work, which in turn puts pressure on us to succeed, which can then fuel our imposter syndrome, right? Like it can be a hot cauldron of mess of anxiety and stress. And if we dance around these things, we are never going to solve them. And so we have to realize that the fear is really what's stopping us. This fear of, but right here, it's working. This is working. It may not be working perfectly. There may be a lot of flaws in the system. There may be a lot of problems. There may be things that could be better, but it's kind of technically working, all right? If I make a change, if I do something different, if I expand in some way, is it still gonna work? Am I like, you know, and so those are the things that go through your mind. Like, am I struggling? If I expand the business, what happens to the stuff that's working? Is it not gonna work anymore? Am I gonna, you know, and so we kind of, again, dance around the subject, because this is something that we really want to do, something we really need to do to grow the business. But that fear of what happens? Like, this is working and I don't want to screw it up. All right. And that's sort of the epiphany that I had in the morning. And I was like, this is everything. This is why I'm procrastinating. This is why I can't focus. This is why this week has been really tough, because as soon as I said to myself out loud, well, out in, you know, in my head out loud, I said to myself, I want to do this. I want to focus on really bringing more design aspects into this. I want to be more content creation. I want to really focus heavily on that. As soon as I said that, boom, I looking back, I could see how I immediately shut down, because that fear of, I can't think about that because this is working. It's not great, maybe it's not perfect, but it's working. And this, I don't know if this is gonna work. And if it doesn't work, then what then? And I kind of realized, like, you know, as small business, self-employed, home businesses, we are constantly reinventing ourselves. There is constantly shit being thrown at us from outside. Market crashes, you know, bubbles, you name it, costs of things. We are always on rough seas. And so that means, why not take a risk? Because you know what? We're going to be reinventing ourselves again in a couple of weeks, right? Or a couple of, maybe, who knows what's coming down the pike? Another pandemic, perhaps, you know? So it dawned on me that by dancing around and being afraid of this, and let's be honest, the reasons were valid. You know, what if it fails? You know, and I can overthink things. I can very much overthink things. So I tended to think very much like, oh, this could be bad, this could fall apart, etc., etc. But what I realized was, but what if I don't do it? Well, yeah, this is really where I want to go with the business. This is really where I envisioned the business being, maybe even 2 or 3 years ago. But that subtle fear, that imposter syndrome, stopped me from doing that, from being the business that I really wanted to be. I'm not saying this is a bad business. I'm not saying that I'm miserable. I'm just saying there is a yearning to do more, to be more, rather than just kind of sitting in my office and kind of doing what works. I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to be more, and that can be frightening. But it doesn't have to be. It can be really exciting as long as you let it be. And once I realized, okay, this is what I'm doing to myself, this is how I'm dealing with things, that's not a good place to be, then the wheels started going again, and now I'm back to having a really great week of like, yes, this is really what I want to do. It doesn't have to be done tomorrow. I'm not saying tomorrow I'm going to flip a switch and this is going to be a completely different business. I'm adding something to my existing business, and that addition, like, I don't really cook, but I know like you can't put hot stuff into eggs, and like you got, right? Same thing. I'm not going to like suddenly just shut this all down and do this. I'm going to slowly start to filter that other stuff into the business. I'm going to slowly build to that. So maybe it launches in 2025, or maybe I really start getting into that heavily in 2025, but that's okay. Because I figured out what the problem was, which was me, and I'm starting to set a plan to make that happen. Again, it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It doesn't have to happen next week, but it is going to happen because I've now determined that that's going to happen. And so for all of us, it can be the same way. We can just feel a little, I really want to do this, but I don't know. What if? But there's also, what if it works? All right, welcome back. Again, I'm still E.H. Howard. I haven't changed any. So, welcome back. All right, so now it's the time for the portion of our show where we take a letter from a fan. I have a fan, more than just my husband. I have a fan, Miss Ethel P. Herkimer from Pacoima, and she writes to me all the time. Love her. She's a great person. Today's letter is, my neighbor, let's call her Patty, has a business in her home. So she runs a home business. She can't seem to grow. She seems to be struggling with her growth. What is your suggestion to help her? Now, again, another great question. One of the problems that we have right now is we need to be able to understand who our consumer is and how to talk to them. You have a very specific consumer, one who's ideal and right for what you offer, or what Patty offers, I should say. And Patty just needs to really figure out how to talk to them. And there's some great ways to do that, all right? She needs to really kind of like, and I'm not saying like talk face to face, but that ain't gonna hurt anything, right? Like engage with them a little bit more on social media, engage with them a little bit more, discover more about them, be more inquisitive. But if she's really struggling, if she can't really figure it out, there's always some great content on my website. She can visit store.ehhoward.com and download the latest review book, which is Like a Good Neighbor. And we talk about how to talk to your customers, how to grow them, how knowing all of that will foster more word of mouth marketing, better networking, better referrals. It'll help you create better copy for your website, for your marketing, for your sales. Knowing who you're talking to, what engages them and what excites them is your number one tool. All right, you got to make sure that you get that so that you're talking to them, but they got to understand the language that you're speaking. So you need to speak their language. They don't need to learn your language. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So I would say tell Patty to visit neighbor.ehhoward.com and she can download the book today. All right. So again, another episode where I haven't said anything that got me canceled. At least yet, I don't know. I'm still filming this, so who knows when I upload it. So make sure you hit cancel button. Got to say some stuff so the sales department gets off my ass, which is make sure you like, subscribe, join, follow, whatever you need to do. If you want to join my tribe, which is a group of my consumers, my base, my tribe, join.ehhoward.com. You can get 25% off your initial purchase at the store, 10% off future, but you'll get workshops, emails, all kinds of great stuff to really help you grow your business to be a better business tomorrow than you are today. A lot of it's free, some of it's low, all of it's low cost, some of it's free. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff in the fall. We're going to be doing discussion, or in January, where they're doing discussion groups and workshops and all kinds of really great things. Kind of goes with that new design idea. I think the workshops and the design idea will really work together. Think that's everything. Trying to think of what else. So just pop on over to ehhoward.com. Follow me on social media, literally everywhere. I'm all over the place. If whatever whatever app you're watching this on, make sure you click like and subscribe. That kind of really helps me out a lot. Other than that, it's been good. I was a good boy. All right. So I will see you in the next Unscripted. All right. Or whatever you see me in. Maybe a short or a reel. Who knows? All right. Bye.